Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to ascend, right? I'm also going to go over my own ascending protocol. So let's just start off, right? With me, my face is pretty messed up. That's from acne. I have a lot of acne scars. So this is what I'm doing, and this is what my protocol is for skin. So the first thing is Accutane, right? So I'm taking Accutane. I'm taking 60 milligrams, and I'm going to do this for around 6 months, maybe two courses of it. Now with this, my skin's going to clear out, right? And for the morning and night, what do I do for actually cleaning my skin? I've been doing skincare for maybe two years, right? Less is more, but when your skin's really fucked up, you have to add in some protocols. So this is what I'm doing. I'm using this moisturizer right here. I'm also using this to cleanse, and I'm also using this toner. I fucking put that shit on like crazy, right? I let it marinate in my skin. That I've found the best results with that, right? Not only that, you can throw on some azelaic acid on the screen, which is also right here, which is going to help out. I only use it on Accutane very once in a while, whenever I'm want to put it on my skin. It's very important to listen to your skin, not just put random shit on your face. If you feel like you shouldn't wash your face, don't wash your face. If you feel like your skin's dry, put it on, right? This whole morning, night, wash thing, it's really irrelevant, right? The most important thing is pay attention to your skin, okay? But also, it is important to cleanse every night. Or just put some water in your face. But if you didn't really do anything, you don't have to do it. But I see the most results with super light cleanse with this gentle cleanser, and that'll give you the most results. Now, you can also add in GHKCU. I am doing that. I haven't seen any results yet, but I've only been using it for about a month. And also, you can add in a couple of growth hormones like CJC. So you have let's use this. So you have CJC, right? No DAC, right? Very small microdose of this. So maybe about 100 milligrams, I believe, is that, or micrograms, whatever it is called. 100 to 200, nothing more than that. If you want to get the benefits for skin, promoting growth hormone, just very tiny amount. And then also, you can also get ipamorelin as well, and something called GHRP6, right? This also helps with skin, same thing, about 100 to 200 micrograms. I use all this with ChatGPT to get the most, to get skin advantage, right? For growth hormone, you can probably do more IUs, but that's what you want to do. Another thing is supplements, right? What should I take? What should I eat, right? Diet, right? This is kind of the skincare part of it, and also health aspect of it, right? So for diet, right? Most important thing is, like, basically, I do drink raw milk. I really don't see anything bad with it. I haven't noticed any bad things with my skin. That's completely fine. I'm also 20 years old, so I'm doing that for growth hormone and nutrition, right? So raw milk, okay? Next thing is going to be lots of meat, right? Preferably basically undercooked meat or just raw meat in general. But I get most of my stuff from the supermarket, and make sure it's grass-fed. Grain-fed tastes like trash. It's really important actually that it's grass-fed. You can tell when you eat it, you feel like shit when you eat grain-fed, but when you eat that grass-fed, it actually tastes really good. So lots of this, some of this is the priority for me because I'm young. If I was 25, I would basically just do this, basically. And I would also add in important things like fish, right? Having your fish oils in there. With all those other nutrients that you might miss on just the meat diet, right? If you're just eating cow. There's a couple other things you can do, like fats, right? You need to have some fats, so you can have either raw butter, right? But I get a lot of fats from my raw milk, right? Which is very important when your fats are very, very important, especially for losing weight. Like, you need to eat your fats for sure. All right. So that's basically it. Meat and raw milk, right? I have no problems with raw milk for my skin. And then secondly, this is basically for skin, at least. What I've been doing is I've been taking fish oil, right? I could take some sort of liver or something like that, but for me, I just did the fish oil. I think it's called RTG or RT. I think it's RTG or no, it's called TRG fish oil, right? This is basically the best concentration of fish oil. It's the most bioavailable. This is what you want to be using. So find yourself some TRG fish oil, and I take about 2 grams of that, like 3 grams of that mix of the EPA and EGA, whatever it's called. So I've been taking that for about a few months. I've been seeing actual results in my skin. And then vitamin D as well. Pantothenic acid supplement, about 500 milligrams. And then I also have, what else do I have? I have zinc, right? You want to get, if you're taking supplements, right, you want to make sure it's in the most bioavailable form. So I take zinc, it's like picolate, whatever it's called, zinc picolate, right? Whenever you take a supplement, right, if you are going to take a supplement, make sure it's in the most bioavailable form. I take all of my supplements in a bioavailable form. Now, if you're just eating the raw meat, like, you should be good. You probably won't need all this. Optimally, it's raw meat, fish oil, or actual liver, like real foods that you get from it. But I'm just doing this for the time being, and actually I'm seeing results. So that's basically it for skin, right? Now, after my Accutane course is done, if you guys still have scarring ran over, so this is what I'm doing, probably 6 to 8 months down the line, right? Potentially a year, right? Is I will be doing some laser resurfacing, right? So my first one is probably going to be CO2 laser resurfacing, right? The reason is because my skin, it's actually a little bit saggy over the years because I have naturally kind of like stretchy skin, for example, and the acne scars and everything like that, even me dropping weight a lot has made my skin kind of not as tight. So, and CO2 laser resurfacing, it's going to tighten your skin. It's also going to get rid of some of those scars that you have, like hypertrophic scars. I have a couple on my chin right here. So CO2 laser resurfacing is going to be the first thing that I do. After that, I'm also going to, once that's done, right, I might do a couple courses of that. I'm also going to get, if my redness hasn't cleared from my acne, right after I got off Accutane, I'll get a V-beam laser. This is basically for post-inflammatory erythema, whatever it's called. This is going to get rid of the red spots that you have from acne. If my red spots didn't clear up, I'm going to do that. Now, that's basically it for skin. I might do it like some toxic, I probably won't need it, but maybe toxic chemical peels potentially, but I probably won't be needing that once I get this and that on the course. Maybe I'll do, and then I'll also add in some microneedling and whatnot. Now, so that's what I have for that, right? Yeah. Basically, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm also growing out my hair, right? So I have black hair, and for my eyebrows and eyelashes, I'm using minoxidil foam, right? Minoxidil foam, 5%, and eyelash serum. Shout out Face IQ, I got it from him, for the growth, right? Every night and day, I'll put that on my eyebrows, and I'll kind of get in my eyelashes too. You know what I'm saying? Growing out the hair, and I'll dye it black every once in a while. I might try it out brown though. I kind of like the brown a little bit. Now, as you know, you can't tan on Accutane. So how do you receive a tan while on Accutane? Well, thing is, don't want to go on the sun on Accutane. It's going to get you a lot of hyperpigmentation spots, right? So for tanning, right? Most important thing, you probably can't tan, but you can get some of that carotenoid coloring, right? And you can get that from lycopene and anazastatin, something like that. I think it's called like something like that. So I take 40 milligrams. Sometimes it's a little dark. I might bump this down to 20. This, I take 24 milligrams or 12, depending on how my skin is, if I want kind of a darker or lighter shade. So I take those two. I don't really take any beta carotene. I don't think it's not that necessary. I think these two are much more stronger. You have much better results. I think beta carotene also is a little bit more toxic. But that's for the coloring and whatnot. Now you can add a self tanner, right? For a self tanner, you can use any like tanning drops, for example, that'll make your skin dark overnight. I haven't been doing that recently because it's not as important to me. But potentially in the future, once I have all the other protocols maxed, I will do that. Now, once I get towards the end, right, we're gonna talk about losing weight, right? It's really simple, right? Right now, I'm not super strict in my diet, but let's say I'm super strict in my diet. It's pretty simple. If I want to cut down fast, I eat just meat, right? With fats, right? Right? Grass-fed meat with fats. That's basically it. Kind of a ketogenic diet, right? No, it is a ketogenic diet. Now, maybe a tiny bit of butter if you're going to cook it, just a small amount of butter, and boom, you're going to drop weight like crazy. You're going to get down to 14%, 12%, right? Without even trying. You won't even need to work out. And that's it for losing weight. You can also add in like some sort of neck training, anything like that. Probably will be doing some neck training and stuff like that. Now, next up is teeth, right? Now, for teeth, right, whitening strips, right? Now, if you have gaps, right, you could get braces, but that will be 1 to 2 years of gaps, right? We don't want 1 to 2 years of gaps. What we want is we want to cover up those gaps as fast as possible. So next on my protocol, my list that I'm going to try and use AI. I will be trying to figure something out where I can, save up some money for veneers. I get these 4 front teeth covered up, right? To remove, I actually have a chip on my tooth right here, and then I can remove some gaps, right? So that can cost you from 4 veneers, right? That can cost you maybe $2,500 up to like, I don't know, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 maybe. So that's the range for that. So you really need to have some money saved up. Maybe you do five grand is a good spot to really see where you can settle. You can probably find somebody for 5 grand for a small amount of teeth if you just want to get the front teeth fixed, right? You don't really need to get veneers on everything. You could also get crowns, but that's super invasive. We don't want to be doing that. And for whitening, you can get a whitening tray kit from the dentist, or you can just get the whiten at the dentist. It's a little bit more pricey, but that is the best. You can get like 8 shades lighter. It's just instant whitening. Or you can always go the cheapest route, which is going to be whitening strips. Now, after all this, like there is a couple more things. Like you can also do muscle and balancing, right? If or sleeping on, you can do sleeping on. I have to sleep on my other side of my face because it's kind of cooked, right? Because say I'm sleeping on this side, all right? This jaw, right, is sagging in, but the other jaw on the other side is sagging out, right? So this is out, right? So you kind of get a lopsided face, right? So this is Jerry right here. Oh, shit. So this is Jerry, right? One side is like this. Okay, bro. Let's go like this, all right? So this is Jerry. Kind of goes like this, right? So that's from sleeping on his right side, right? Now, if he were to sleep on his other side, right, this is going to start to slowly come out, and this is going to start to slowly come in until it's balanced. You know what I mean? So then we have Jerry, right? Pretty balanced, right? Now, if he cuts down some weight, right, he's going to start looking like this, right? Something, a little bit more attractive, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically it for that, right? Now for height protocol, right? I'm 5'11", right? Right under 5'11", fortunately not that tall. Now, if you want to get a little bit taller, you can get some height boosters, right? You can find, 3 inches is probably going to be most discreet, right? You kind of stay in there, so I'll be standing about 6'2", right? Now, there's a couple other lucrative ways that are kind of new in the mix. I don't know, they're probably not lucrative. They're actually opposite of lucrative potentially. But it's basically where you can stretch your back out and your spine during night, and you can have some of that more maintenance during the daytime, that spinal decompression. There's this one guy, I don't know his name, but he's absolutely great. He's doing that every night, and he's seen like he's gained about 1 inch. He doesn't know if it's temporary or not temporary, but there is height protocols that you can do. So I might be able to get to 6 foot standing with no shoes on. That'd be great, man. Last thing, right? I want to put one last thing is that there's a lot of, you can get mixed up when looksmaxxing, right? So you want to make sure that when you're looksmaxxing, right, there's a certain point where there's a rabbit hole, right? Now you go down the rabbit hole enough, right? There's a point of no diminishing returns, right? Where basically you've reached the cap, right? So there's a cap down the rabbit hole, and you just listen to yourself. There's an intuition when you need to escape, right? That's about me right now. It's when I learned about this tool that you could burn off fat by putting it on your cheeks. You probably won't be needed to do that, right? That's a point of no diminishing returns. That's not a risk that I necessarily, and the reason why is because when you get older, right, those fat pads that are on your face are there for a reason, right? You're gonna have like super sunken in cheeks, and I don't know if that's gonna be a good thing. So that's the point of no diminishing returns for looksmaxxing. But anyways, guys, that is my looksmax protocol for 2025. If you guys want another video of this, please let me know. Also, you guys get a free facial rating down in my description. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you.